Good morning, Rabbi. Lilui Nishmas, Imi, Marasi, Mordechai. Nice camera work over there. You know that Baruch Hashem is a bracha in Eretz Yisrael. When you look around the room and there's hardly any people in the room, that means it's raining outside. It's mamish. Gewaldig. Maybe there's a lot of people up very late at night. I heard there was something going on in the middle of the night here in Eretz Yisrael. A lot of yeshivas were learning through the night. A lot of the Leim Diadav were learning through the night. Baruch Hashem. A beautiful picture that somebody took of Joel Mizrahi at the Kotel. He didn't even know that it was taken. Kach Shamati. Yesterday something very interesting happened. First time, I received 4 pictures of the same thing of 4 different people. 4 different pictures. Here, check this out. First one is Yisrael Goldstein, learning on a plane. And then he says, thank you again so very much, Molandi, for inspiring me and many of the Klal Yisrael to use up your travel time properly. I've never had such a good and accomplishing feeling in my life. Yosef is Mechayev, Hill is Mechayev. Now we have Mo that is Mechayev us all. As I got into Manchester Airport on Sunday morning, I downloaded the whole Masechtas Megillah. When I landed in JFK, I finished until Daf Chav Zayin. Then the next 3 days on the way to work, I finished the Masechta. Having my family around the table at the Siyum, and each one of my younger kids getting up and giving a small speech. His children got up and gave a small speech about the importance of learning while traveling is something no money can buy. Thank you, Mo, a million times over. This, our boy says, the one and only Yossi Klan sitting with the peasants in the back of his private jet. I don't know what business class that is, but it's not what I fly on. This is like Emirates or something. Bekitzer, beautiful. He's doing the daf. This Akiva Ziegler is on the plane on Zoom, not knowing that somebody snapped a picture of him. He didn't send it in. He's doing the shir on the plane. It was one of the only times ever I heard like the whoever was making the announcements on the plane said, please do not use the internet with VPN, for Zoom calls, and it was one of the things they asked not to do. Nachum Horowitz on the plane. So 4 people in one day. I don't know what, this doesn't show that he's learning, but I'm sure that's what he meant. I've always said, check out this beautiful video. Yeah, you can see I tried. I zoomed in, I couldn't figure it out. He was watching Minnie Mouse. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I'm not trying to.
The energy's in the air. We're ready for Shabbos. Pumped up like crazy. It's gonna be an amazing Shabbos Chaskas.
I am psyched. I'm excited. MDY Shabbaton, the Achdus, everyone together. We're all around the world learning Torah, meeting each other.
Those are all videos. Every single one of those boxes is a video.
Being part of this is something that you can't put into words, and I'm just wowed.
And just random people coming over and sharing stories about their lives and feeling connected.
MDY around the world in one place.
Singing, dancing,
talking to each other like they've been best friends for life.
Wow, what a Shabbaton. And I use the Shabbaton as energy for the rest of the year.
All I can say is that you can't even explain what it is until you're here.
It's not humanly possible.
What did I just experience? Insane.
I was blown away. I've never been to an event at all like this, ever.
Dancing and singing, I think that was the best part of it.
Started singing songs. I became an emotional wreck. I was crying so much I couldn't even continue singing.
Everything is min hashamayim. Everything was perfect. Everybody should make a big ishtadlus to come because it's life-changing. It really is. It's a Shabbos of a lifetime. You don't want to miss it.
It was so special to be here, and I look forward to being here next year, Be'ezer Hashem.
Don't even think twice. Sign up for the experience of a lifetime.
All right, I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. Shkoyach.
Didn't say anything about the food.
Yeah, we showed the food. Should we talk about Shuki? Okay, next. Yitzi Grunhot. Thank you so much for all that you do, all that you and MDY family do for Am Yisrael. You mentioned today's daf that you gave this year in the airport a room made for people with anxiety for flying. Perhaps I can provide a different point of view, which I already mentioned. I don't know where and how, but I said it in shir. The fellow who donated the funds and made this room did not know about the daf or MDY, but Hashem knew that Rebellion will need a quiet and comfortable space to give a Daf Yomi shir on 28/1/25. So Hashem made sure that there would be a very comfortable and super quiet space. You said no one was there when Rabbi Eli needed so that he can zak Am Yisrael. We often in the well that worked out mindset. Hashem loves each and every one of us, and every single aspect of our lives has been orchestrated by Him to be what is best for us. When something works out, it is only because we have the eyes to see it. But that doesn't mean that when things go the way we were not planning, that it didn't work out. Gam Zulu Toiva. Shrecha, Hashem loves you and us, benefiting as your Talmidim was so revealed in your life, and may we all be zoich to always have the right eyes to see how Hashem around us, your Talmud from across the pond, Yitzi Grunhot, Yishkoyach, Rabbi Yitzi, the son of Zil. Dear Belly, this morning after landing in Newark, I went to Daven Shachris. Oh, I like this one. I went to Daven Shachris in Divrei Shloime Bobav in Linden, New Jersey. After Shachris, a Bobav B'chassid approached me and asked me if I do the daf with MDY. I told him yes. But how do you know? But how did he know? He told me every time he sees a new face, Rabbi Isai, he tries to recruit them to MDY. I was very inspired and reminded me that we are all one big family. Sincerely, your Talmud, Duvi Fried. L'chvod Rebelli, I would like to express my feelings about MDY family and yourself. The past 7 months was not easy at all. 6 weeks. My grandson was in the hospital, then at home. The daf kept me going all this time, shifts, day shifts. Daf became my best friend and biggest support. It brought simcha and relaxation. Thank you. Now to the mishpacha, the support we got from many MDYers, men and women, consistently asking and davening, and always there for just to look up at the sponsors for the shir, ready to help in any shape and form. Ashreichem, to all, may we only hear simchas. Try the daf, you may get hooked to. Ari Checkanow family. Rabbi Isai Mazel Tov to Shlomi Leitner, who's making a chasana today, and reminding the Olam that on Tu B'Shvat, Matzi Tu B'Shvat, Thursday night in Bnei Brak, it's kedai to go just to see. We're expecting over 1,000 people in one room here in Eretz Yisrael for the first time. We've done it in New York, in Brooklyn, but never in Eretz Yisrael, so let's see what happens. And it's Thursday night, I said. That all these questions after share. Yeah. This Rabbi Isai is real. This is going into the back, right over there for the Svarim. There's 24 cubbies in there that are going to be rented on a yearly basis for your tefillin. That's the only place that people are going to be able to put tefillin. We are looking for a sponsor. It is $30,000 to sponsor that piece, and you get your name on it, L'Doiris. And finally, the Mesechta sponsor Lilui Nishmas Mordechai ben Refoel Chaim Doiv, grandson of Rabbi Areye Checkanow, who I just read his email for the Atzlacha Baruch ובגשמיות by Ari Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim, who started learning the Daf Yomi at age 70 and continued for 32 years until he was nifter for the unity of the Jewish people. Wow! So he started at age 70 and he finished 4 cycles. Nishmas Zchurya ben Moshe, Nishmas Zchurya bas Yosef, Zchut, Parnasa Birevach for Baruch, Tzvi Nisim ben Shoshan Areye. Parnasa Chodesh with a course that Toiv from Anonymous. Parnasa Chodesh, Shprintzy Alan Gross, Lilui Nishmas, Shlomo Zalman ben Yitzchak Isaac Zchurya Birevach, Yaman Isaac ben Tzvi Hirsch Cohn Zchurya Birevach, and Refoel Shlomo Yonason Eitan ben Bas Sheva Bracha. By Leon Wiltshire, thanking Hashem for the release of Ari Rosenfeld. he should have a complete recovery, berухniyos, ובגשמיות, what did it say, beguf and beneshama, benefesh. Aaron ben Hinda Esther Gittel. It's not pashut. It's a lot of trauma that the body takes of being secluded and by yourself and away from the family for so many months. Sponsored by HYK, which I just learned means Hillel Yosef Kamiansky. Ventures in honor and for the success of all our clients. Parnasa, the yard site of Yechiel Hirsch Ben Yisrael Olav Shalom. Second day sponsored 40th yard site of Abe Diamond Avram Tzvi Ben Pesach Hillel, sponsored by his family. The art of the month was Zchut for Eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah and joy of so many. I told Yossi just this morning, I realized that the art of the month is much more expensive than the Masechta. We were trying to go to pay the salary. I think we should just lower it to $3,600 a month. Maybe there will be more takers, because right now it's about $166 a day. So in terms of value, it's almost double than other sponsorships, like the Masechta sponsor and the turning of the Daf sponsor. So you said Beseder. For Zchut for Be'eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah and joy for so many. And the art of the month in honor of Yossi Klein, Mark Ashkenazi, for all the work that they do. Rabbi Sai, we are holding on Daf Nun Daled Amud Beis. Torah Rabbanon. Yes, that we're holding. I don't want to make a mistake here. I wasn't 100% here yesterday. I was here, but I wasn't so much here. My head was spinning. I didn't have my coffee yet. Torah Rabbanon. Zachor lo yosef boy katan kegadol. When the receiver of Mishkav Zachar, then there's a certain age. There's a minimum age. Behema, also k'tana kegadola. With a behema, somebody's reveya behema, doesn't matter what age, even a one-day-old behema, you're over. My loy also by katan kegadol. So we have machlokes. What is the minimum age to be over on a human being? Here's a shaila that you'll scratch your head, but the Gemara actually talks about. Is it possible, Rabbi, say, check out this question. It's unbelievable. You're not going to even believe the answer to this question. It's different than what you think. Can a person be over arayis with his own self? You hear the question? Can a person be boil himself? That's a question we're going to be dealing with. And the answer is fascinating. We have says Rav, you must be at least 9 years old to be the receiver. And Shmuel says you have to be at least 3 years old. What's the machlokes? Rav Sovar called the Isa b'shoichev Isa b'nishkav. We know, and we're going to have a whole sugya today on Amud Beis, that the minimum of age for Bia is 9 years old by a boy. For all halachas, for Eishes Ish, for everything, to be Matama, a woman, for Tumas Haguf, anything that has to do with Bia, you have to be at least 9 years old. So Memela, if the giver has to be 9 years old, the receiver also has to be 9 years old. No, it doesn't have to do with the boy, it has to do with the age of the girl. We learned the whole idea, it says in the pasuk of Zachar, it says, so it mentions the Isha. And we know that a woman, her minimal age is 3. So in Mela, it's 3 years old by a boy also. Thank you, the Rav. Zachar ben Tesha Shana v'yom echad. It says mamish mufurish like Rav in the Brisa that the minimal age is to be chayiv misa. We're talking about. We're not talking about any heter chas v'shalom. We're talking about a person who's over on Zachar. He's only over from 9 and above to be chayiv misa. There's other isurim. I don't know what, but there are other isurim. Haba ala behema, hap of nun heyom and aleph, ben kedarko, ben shloi kedarko. So there's another part of the Brisa. I actually, in the Hebrew shir, I started here last night because it's a new topic. What are the ways that you're over with a behema? It can be over in 2 ways: kedarka and shaloi kedarka, the regular and not natural way. Va'isha mevias behema aleo, ben kedarka, ben shaloi kedarka chayiv. And a woman who's with an animal, also she's chayiv in both ways. Dorish Rav Nachman argues. Rav Nachman says Barav Chizda. Bi'isha shnei mishkaves. Since the Torah says mishkevei isha, so she's taka over both ways, natural and unnatural. Ubebehema, when a man has relations with an animal, ubebehema mishkav echad, by a behema doesn't say the word mishkevei. So Memelad says Rav Nachman, we have to remember this because the Gemara is going to argue on him. If the behema is the receiver, then there's only one way to do it. So how many ways do we have total between a isha and a ish? We have 3. 2 by a isha, 1 by a ish. Rav Papa says the opposite, but he also remains with 3. And at the end, the Gemara is going to say, no, it's 4, it's 2 and 2, it's always 2. Maskil Rav Papa adarabba. Isha de urchahi, amishke mechayav, amido amachrina le mechayav. It's a hard piece to understand. Perhaps it means a little bit. Little that I understand there. The woman has somewhat hana, and memela, it's put it this way: between humans and animals, animals they have certain seasons that they mate. It's not a thing that they typically do. So memela, but a woman, yes. So amishka mechayev, amidom achrina loy mechayev. So she should only be chayev for the kedarka and not for the shaloi kedarka. Behema delav urchi. Certainly, not with a human being, l'chayev Allah, kol nekev and nekev. Since anyways it's a whole chiddush over here for an animal, so Mamela, you should be chayev on an animal in both ways. How many do we have total? 3. Tanya, but we have a brisa that says there's a total of 4. Whether it's an animal, it's 2. Whether it's a zachar and a cave, it's always 2. Tanya, zachar, ben teisha shana v'yimachad, that the mekabel, the receiver zachar, the kid, is at least 9 years old. Haba al habehema ben kedarka ben sheloi kedarka. Now it says mafurish that when it comes to an animal, the reveya is over even on sheloi kedarka. There's 2 ways with an animal. Va'isha mevias habehema lea, and a woman who's with an animal also ben kedarka ben sheloi kedarka chayav. So either way you dissect this will be a question either on Rav Nachman, who says that by behema there's only one way, and over here it says mafurish there's 2 ways. And the question will be on Rav Papa also, that he says that by a isha there's only one way, and in fact we see that there's 2 ways. So we have a yisoid in all of Shas. Let's see the pasuk. The pasuk is by nida, and it says the word hera. There's an isser Bia with a nida, even hera. What's hera? It means just to touch. Doesn't mean to finish the act. Even the beginning stages of it. What exactly? It's machlok is exactly what it. Let's just call it touching. So Mela, the question is, do we have that same isser by a zachar? Just touching your over, that's it. Chayiv means without finishing an act. Hama'ara bezachar ma'u. Ask the Gemara, what's the question? Of course, you chayiv. Hama'ara bezachar mishkevei isha ksivbei. It says in the pasuk of Zachar, it says mishkevei isha, and we know by a woman it means even the beginning. So memela by Zachar also. Elo hama'or bebehema. Are you over on the least amount, just a touch? Are you chayiv misa by behema? Omer le yemenu in lahara dechsiva gabi achois ove v'achois imoy deloy tzricha. So very, very simple. Check this out. There's another pasuk. It says the same word, hera. And this is referring to an ant. Ant from your father's side, it starts with the mother, your mother's sister, and your father's sister, your aunt. And it says the lashon of hera. Now, once I see the word hera by nida, then I take that to all arayes. To an aunt, to a daughter, to what? A kala. It says it by nida, it's by everything. How do I know it's by everything? Because there's a hekesh called Hekesha de Rabbi Yoina. Rashi brings it. It says in another pasuk, all arayis, you're chayiv. For whatever I see over here, it's by all of them. So if by whatever I see by nida goes to all of them. So Memela, it says the word hera by nida. So why do I need the word hera by achoy simcha, by an ant? I don't need it. So since it's extra, so then we had this yisod yesterday, the day before. This is one of the midah shator, not shloishes rei, but one of the midah shator in the dreshus bam. If I have a pasuk, I don't know what to do with it, so I'm going to use it for another topic. Tneu inyan lahara de behema. It doesn't say anything about hara by an animal, so memela, I'm going to use this hara by an ant and use it for an animal. Says Gemara, well, I don't like it so much. Why? Because an ant and a behema, they're both arayas, but they have different enriching, the different categories. What do you get for hashoichiv and behema? What's the punishment, Rabbi Isai? Remember the Mishnah? Skila. Same punishment as zachar. Skila. What's the punishment for an ant? Krisos. It's not a Mrs. Bezdin. So Mamela, why are you putting, if the Torah really wanted to give me, to talk about hara by an animal, why did the Torah put it in a category that's completely different by an ant? Should have put it in a category of something that's similar to it in terms of the Misa. Michdi behema mechayve Mrs. Bezdini. Person is with an animal gets skila. Because of laradi dog, it doesn't make sense. They're going to put it by a chayve krisis. If you're ready, okay, I'll take it that you didn't want to put it in this pasuk, you want to put it by something else, and we're going to learn from something else, but at least it should be similar. Just yesterday, Eliyakim told me a Mordechai Gevart. I think he came up with himself. I'll share with you. I think it has to do with this. That where do we see in the Torah the concept of a birthday? Parei. So he asked the question, why did the Torah pick Parei? The Torah should have picked somebody else. Bilam, Moshe Rabbeinu, I don't know. Why dafka birthday by Parei? So he says, beautiful. He says, Parei thought he's a god. Gods don't have birthdays. So what do you see? You see that to make a birthday, even if it's against your hashkafa, you could still make one. You always make a birthday no matter what. That's what our wives think, right? There's no shaykhs. I tell my wife 20 times, I don't go by the English birthday because that has to do with somebody that we don't really believe in, how many years after his death, whatever. Why am I celebrating that? No. Birthday has nothing to do with that. Birthday has to do with, you have to make a birthday regardless of your hashkafa. And Memela, I'm going to give a shout out to my son and my daughter-in-law, who, this explains a lot. I think my wife donated that cake. It's not cheap, but it's already a year, believe it or not. Remember, I just went to Florida, Sophia Rus. She's a year old. So this is what they do in America. You make a party for, it has nothing to do with the kid, because the kid, I don't know if she was eating pizza in Shalom Yisrael. You have to mamish make no, this is the pshat. It's right over here. While I'm showing this, one of the guys that came to this year last night, Shuki, he's in charge of the Chofetz Chaim's caver. He has I don't know if he's in charge, but he has a hotel 3 feet away from the Chofetz Chaim's caver. So he was driving, what?
The yeshiva. Next to the yeshiva.
Right, oh, I said the caver. Next to the yeshiva, thank you. Right next to the yeshiva, he has a hotel. And 2 days ago, this happens to be the Chofetz Chaim's birthday. By the way, somebody just asked me here, let me just say this. I listen to all the males, but what is your new granddaughter's name from Park City, Utah? Should only be a source of nachas, some chizuk for myself, maybe others. The entire world is created just for me, and then it means you were created to help me learn the daf. So how can I miss your amazing shir? For the entire world is created for our limud Torah, even if we are 1,000 miles away. Avi from Brooklyn, my granddaughter from Park City, her name is Adira. And it's mamshich over here. Okay, Kitzer, you get the idea. It's just if I'm not there, I might as well show the thing. Oh, Fairy Fizz, Givaldic. Where's that? I got to show you this. This is crazy because he came to the shir yesterday. This was his car. A moose hit his car, not a deer, a moose. In Belarus, but next to the Chofetz Chaim, he was in it. 0 injuries, but he has a picture of what a moose looks like in case you want to know what a moose looks like. It weighs about a ton. Here's the car. You see the car? It hit the windshield and landed on the trunk, so it messed up their trunk, and then it ran away. Yeah, it got up and ran. Hit and run, yeah. All right. Zog the Gemara. So, that's the Gemara. Why does it say hurrah by an ant? Says the Gemara. This pasuk. Let's go back. This pasuk, Rabbi Isai, is 100% extra. Why? Because it says the same exact thing about not being with an ant. It says it in Ari Rosenfeld. So why does it say it over here in Parshas Kedoshim? We learn the Gemara in Yevamos takes every single word from here that we'll deal with, the Einish and the Hazara. Every single word here is extra, including the word Hara. So maybe you can't ask me now, but Achai Simcha is a krisos. You're right, it's krisos, but we already have extra pasuk and we're using every word. Fine. If somebody is boil himself, what's the halacha? Omarle kivaston. Why are you mitzayir me with questions that are impossible? So on the side in the Hagoyz V'Tzionim, I'll blow it up for you so you see. It says Harav Alfas. The Rif says in Baba Basra Daf Pehei kivaston kolomer fachtes b'nei meyay lahaki. You made me nauseous. Your question is making me nauseous. Omarle kivaston. Omar Ravashi, Maiti Balach. Says Ravashi, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. How is it possible, B'chlal? B'mitzias, how is it possible? B'koishi lo mishkachas lo, ki mishkachas lo b'mishamish meis. The only way that this is even possible is if the aver is limp. If the aver is not limp, it's impossible. So, but that brings another problem. L'man do'omer mishamish meis b'arei is potter. What if somebody boil somebody with the aver mace? Are you chayiv or not chayiv? Well, it's a machloikis. So l'man do'omer mishamish meis b'arei is potter, hocha potter. So a person who's boil himself with the aver mace, because that's the only way to do it, you'd be potter. Well, listen to this. This is crazy. Well, l'man do'omer chayiv. But if a person does this, let's say by mistake, it touches just by mistake, you'd be chayiv b'shoigeg. L'man do'omer chayiv, hocha mechayiv tarti. You be chayiv twice. Why? Mechayiv hashoichev and mechayiv hanishkav. You're the receiver and the giver at the same time. You're chayiv two korbanos. Boy menei Rav Sheishes. Oy v'kechavim haba ala behema mau. Takola v'kolim binon. So check this out. So this is very nice. We didn't have this last night. Takola means a stumbling block. You were tripped up by this animal. This animal caused you to be over an aveira. Why are we killing the animal? It's a shaila in Lumdus. Why are we killing the animal? Are we killing the animal because the animal tripped you? It brought an aveira to the world because of the animal. So let's say if this picture right over here caused an aveira, somebody who's over avodah zarah to it, so I would destroy it. This tree is an asherah tree. I have to destroy it because it brought a takala. Or no. The shaila is because it brought koloin. Koloin is not about the animal, it's about the person that did the aveira. It brings a busha. People are going to see the animal and say, oh, you know what that guy did? Here's a kid even spitting at the person, at his statue. They point, he said, this guy was over an aveira. So the Torah had Rachmanas and the dead guy, because we killed him already, he's dead. It's just a statue of the guy that died. Torah had Rachmanas on him, so the Torah says, let's kill the animal so nobody talks about the dead guy. So here comes the question, what about a guy that was over this Isser? A guy couldn't care less. They're proud of it. So, I married 3 donkeys. I have no problem. So the Bushi doesn't have. But what does he have? He has takala. He has this guy. This animal brought an aver to the world. The guy is over. The guy, every ben noach is chayiv on this. So maybe we should kill the animal because it brought an issa to the world. Not because of the busha, but because of the takala. Not because of the color, because of the takala. We're going to have the same question in reverse. What if it brings only busha, but no isser? What's the case, Rabbi? I think for a second. How could something bring a busha, but no isser? Anybody? No? Shoygig. A Jew b'shoygig. So, let's see this real quickly. This might help us a little bit for the sugya. How do you have takala? You have oive. Takala, the only way to have takala and not kalain, to have an aver without busha, is a goy on purpose. Because a Jew automatically has a busha no matter if it's on purpose or not on purpose. So it can't be a Jew at all. It must be talking about a goy on purpose. How do you have busha without an avera? Only a Jew b'shoigig. Because a goy is chayiv on shoigig. So to have busha, a goy is never has busha. So anyway, to have kalain without the kala is only a Jew b'shoigig. It's not an avera. He did it by mistake. He didn't know that it's asur or whatever happened. So if it's b'shoigig, there's no takala, but there's a big busha.
By the nachash, the Barbanel, that it was she saw the nachash.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like smart and tricking and everything. And when I asked the Shaila, so if the nachash just made her touch the tree, didn't actually speak to her, so what was the problem with the nachash? Why did he get punished? So for this reason, he says because the kala that came through the snake that caused the woman to sin, but you see, he only got punished, he didn't get killed. So we only punished the nachash to show that it's got a...
Punish the nachash by the Barbanel, if whoever didn't hear. Oh, now we actually have microphones. We have a microphone next to him. It's chalash. But okay, basically he's saying that this is what the Barbanel says, that the nachash got punished not because he pushed the woman, because there's a takala that happened through the nachash, and that's why he got punished but not killed. Okay, but the Gemara is asking here, do you kill an animal for takala only without kalain? And do you kill the animal for kalain without the kala? Now we're at question number 1. Do you need both? The takala and the kalain? By a guy, there's only the stumbling. Kalain leke, there's no busha. He doesn't have a busha guy. Perhaps there's a takala without, or you could kill the animal just for stumbling upon the animal causing an avera. You kill the animal even though there's no busha. On Rav Sheshes, Nisua. So Rav Sheshes tries to bring a raya from here, and Abaya argues on him. Nisua, Ma'i lonis sheino yichlin bein shoysim bein merichin. Here's the pasuk by a tree. You take a tree that they did Avodah Zarah and you destroy it completely, you uproot it, you destroy, you go crazy on it, you burn it, but it can't even eat, it can't drink, it can't smell. It's not a human being. Destroy it. Sroif, burn it. V'chalei, eradicate it, get rid of it. Why? Because a human being stumbled upon it. Because of it, this tree, a person did an avera. So a person who makes somebody else get death, brings him to something terrible. So an animal who caused a person to sin like that with a behema, we should eradicate the behema just like we eradicate a tree. So obviously you look at this, and I have to say I can't go by without saying. So mida toiva meruba. If a person brings somebody l'chai olam haba, he learns on a plane and he doesn't realize what he does. He's learning on the plane, and another Frumiyad walks by and is impressed and says, "Oh, I also have to learn." Like a guy told me, I don't know, maybe within the last 2 weeks, a guy said, I was on a plane, and the guy next to me was not as frum as me. He tells me, probably looked at his yarmulke and decided this guy's not as frum as him. Little does he realize that this guy learns, and this guy's busy with other shtusim. He has a nicer yarmulke, maybe a frummer yarmulke, so to speak. It's bigger and larger, but learning,
You didn't take him 100 meal.
He didn't take the Mahadr meal. Exactly. He didn't take the Mahadr meal. He was watching the movies with the Mahadr meal. He says, he told me, and I really wanted to watch movies. The guy ruined my whole flight. And I had Maisa Shoya, he came here to say hello. He says, I had to learn. This guy he was machshalim. Made him learn Torah instead of watching movies. But I'm serious, you don't know what you do. Molandi didn't know when he learned in the airport. And guys, you don't know what you're doing. You give people new musagim. We have to start a new trend. Learning on the bus here in Eretz Yisrael. Learning, people do it.
Why you drive?
Learning on your scooter. Learning on your bike. Or if you're a pilot, learning when you're flying, Gil. Which you do. Learning while you're skiing. Elamato. Ask the Gemara, I don't understand. Anything that's a stumbling block, any animal that causes you to do the aver. So if you bow to an animal, you should destroy the animal. It should be usher to a Jew and you should kill it. There's no such thing, because if a Jew bows to an animal, you don't make the animal usher. You can't usher an animal through bowing to it. So if a guy does, you should usher. Says Gemara, however, Yisrael Gufei, Litzar, Midi Dahava Revia. But even if, let's say, you don't have two aidim, you have one aid, but this animal should become usher like we have by Revia. Just the actual act of being with an animal ushers the animal. So when you, Omar Abaya, Zekloni Meruba, Zekloni Muat. So what's going on here in this line is that Abaye is saying, I agree to you, Rav Sheshes, that a guy that's with an animal, you have to kill it. But not because of what you said. What did you say? Why does Rav Sheshes say that you have to kill this animal? Because there's takala. Says Abaye, no, it's not because of the takala. It's because of the koloin. And this is also fascinating. Abaye is saying a guy, the busha so much by a guy. Why is it so much busha? Because he first broke Hashem's word. Hashem said not to be with an animal. Second of all, he himself did a disgusting thing. The two things combined, you have to kill the animal. Even though you're saying to begin with that a guy doesn't really care, a guy is not so makbid. In other words, the outcome is the same. Abaye and Rav Sheshes, you kill this animal that's with a guy, but for different reasons. Rav Sheshes says it's takala, says Abaye, no, it's because of kala. Zekloni meruba, zekloni muad. By avezar, you don't have that much kala. As the Gemara Ari Rosenfeld is inclining meruba of Torah ashkas sroy v'kalei. A tree doesn't have that much busha at all. The balachayim kamrina. We're talking about animals. The chas rachmon alayu. Since we see in this Masechta that the Torah really cares about animals, the Torah always has rachmanas on an animal. Where do we see that the Torah has rachmanas on an animal? Because in order to kill an animal, you need a bezin of 23, and you need real edim. A tree is a tree. No, you're not going to bring a tree to a bezin of 23. You just chop it down and then destroy it. So in Mela, I have to be careful before I kill this animal. Since there was some sort of enjoyment for this animal, so that's why he gets killed. In other words, it had involvement. I don't know if the word is enjoyment as much as involvement, but a behemoth for Avodah Zarah, there's nothing. It just stood there. Nobody touched it, nobody anything. So you don't kill it. As the Gemara of Ari Rosenfeld, how can we destroy a tree? It wasn't really involved in the Aveira. Says Gemara, there's no tzushtel, but balachayim kamrina, the chas rachmon alayu. If you're going to compare a tree to an animal, why would I destroy an animal? Because I destroy a tree. A tree doesn't care if I chop it down. An animal cares. Now, if you are a tree hugger, please don't write your emails now, whatever, okay. The chas rachmon alayu. The Torah said 23 dayonos, the Torah cares about it. Tashma. Dover acher, shleitia be'emo yiveres b'shuk, v'yirmi zuhi shenitzkal ploni al yoda. So if you go back to the Mishnah, Rabbi, I check this out. It says, the Mishnah asks a question. Why is it that an animal who did an aver with a person has to die? What did the animal do? The animal wasn't involved. The animal didn't have a choice here. So what does the Mishnah say? The key word here is takala. Believe it or not, we're going to go back to this. The Mishnah says mefurish takala, and then the Gemara is going to change it. No, it doesn't mean takala. It means kalain. Over here it's not both. Hold on, we're getting there. That's the ratio. And then the Mishnah, check this out. That's the ratio. Look what the Sefer says. I have another reason. That people, that an animal is going to go in the marketplace. So if you read it carefully, Zuhi and Ploini. Zuhi, Sheniskal, Ploini al Yoda. This animal and that guy. So basically, Zui is a lashon of takala, and Ploini, the guy that's dead, is a lashon of kalain. So the Sefer is talking about both. So the Gemara does a very simple thing here, and that's all the way to the bottom of Amud Beis. Mamish simple. Since the Sefer is talking about both, the reason why I kill this animal, the Mishnah asks, why should I kill an animal? What does the animal do? The answer is because he did two things wrong: takala, kalain. So what's the ratio? What's the first pshat in the Mishnah? Can't be that the ratio is saying two things. The ratio is saying, because of two reasons, takala and kalain, and the Sefer is saying because takala and kalain. No way. The Sefer says takala and kala. The ratio must be talking about one out of the two. That's the chiddush in the ratio. One out of the two, you get to kill the animal. But which one out of the two? Pasha says it says takala. Takala is enough to kill it. The Gemara said, well, I'm not really forced in a corner. I could get out of it and say that takala doesn't mean takala. Takala means kalin and not takala. But the ratio is definitely only one. The Sefer is definitely two. The problem is that all the way at the end of the Gemara, since we can't put the Mishnah in a corner, I can't figure out if the Mishnah, the ratio of the Mishnah is talking about a takala or a kalin. So I'll never know until Mashiach comes, when do I kill an animal for one thing? Is it takala or only kalin? I'm going to explain. That's a good question. I'm going to explain. Says the Gemara, 100%. Face value, it says mamish, face value. Takala. You kill an animal for takala. We're going to get there in 10, 20 seconds. My love, says the Gemara, Daf Yomi, Amud Beis. The Seifa takala v'kala. The Seifa is both takala and a kala in ratio takala b'lei kala. So must be face value takala b'lei kala. Vechidami. What's so that I already explained here. Let's look at this. How do you have takala without kala? Only a guy b'mezid. How do you have kala without takala? Only a Jew b'shoigig. The Seifa takala kala in ratio takala b'lei kala. And this answers my question. I asked you a question. If a guy he had relations with the animal, do I kill it or not? And what's the Gemara's question? Because it only has takala without kalin. Do I need both takala and the kalin? Or takala below kalin is enough? Here's the before in the Mishnah. Takala without a kalin is a good reason to kill an animal. Here, the ratio. Takala by itself, boom, kill it. Loi seifa takala v'kalin. You're right. That I'll give you. The seifa is talking about both. Ratio kamash malon. No, the ratio is talking about a kalin, not face value. Vechidami. And what's the case of kalin without a kala? Yisrael abal behema b'shaygig. Says the Gemara, the ratio is talking about kalin without the kala. Ah, yes, Ari, but it says mafurish the word takala. How could you tell me such a thing? It's so far-fetched. The answer is in this chart itself. Why in the world will I say that the Mishnah is talking about a takala, which only takes place with a guy? It doesn't make sense that the Mishnah is talking about a guy. What do I care about guy? The end of the Mishnah is talking about Yisrael. So the beginning of the Mishnah is talking about Yisrael. We're talking about Yisrael there. You're right. It's a very, very, very forced pshat. But nevertheless, I have a reason to make that it makes a little sense. Basically, Ari, what the Gemara is doing here is not, the Gemara is not saying that that's the real pshat in the Mishnah. The Gemara is just saying, I can't force to say that it means face value, because for me it makes more sense it's not face value, that's talking about Yisrael, not a guy. In a second, not in a second, in about 10 minutes, the Gemara is going to flip it and say, no, it is talking about a takala. But I can't force it either way. So the Gemara, the Bayer of Nuna, what was the Rav Nuna's question? Yisrael haba behema b'shaygig ma'u. Oh, so now I have the reverse question. What happens when I have kala and I have a big busha without any avera? How do I have a big busha without an avera? A Jew that was with an animal b'shaygig, he's not going to get punished for it. It was a shaygig. Mamish a mistake. A guy turns on a light. Yeah, here's a good example. I just thought you're in shul, 200 people having the Shabbos. You lean on the wall, shut the entire shul's lights off. What is that? A tremendous busha without an avera. You don't get a. I can't give you skila for turning off a light by mistake, but the whole shul looks at you like, oh, huh? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. The same idea. Correct. This Jew is embarrassed, but there's no avera. Or perhaps you kill the animal because you have one out of the two. You have the busha without the takala, or perhaps you need both the takala and the kala. So this is super simple until the Mishnah. Oh, sponsors. Turning to the Daf, Shvat, Innovations LLC, in honor of the President officials. For Rivka Yudis Batsiyaf Chayan. Thank you to Rabbi Stefansky. Adar Global, experts in international financial services. Yishar Koyach, Anonymous, L'schus, Refoel Satinoy, Yechiel Yedidia, Ben Nechama Shendel, should have a Refoel Shlema. So Rabbi say, this Gemara repeats itself, but in two ways. First, we're going to talk about the minimum age for bia for a girl and the minimum age bia for a boy. It's basically the same sugya, same question, same answer. Okay, let's go. Toshma, Bas Shalishona b'Yemechad. Now she's royal bia. She's already 3 years old. So therefore, Miskadesh is bebia. One of the 3 ways to be Mikadesh a woman, the first mission in Kiddushin is bia. So if her father gives her over to another man for Kiddushin, so she's Miskadesh. Bimba Leo Yavam Kana. Every time we learn these sugyas, I get emails. How's it possible? Okay, time of the Gemara. One thing that I always like to say, in the time of the Gemara, there was such famine and such tsar in Klal Yisrael. And people, we had sugyas, tremendous sugyas in ksubas. When a guy gets engaged and he's not with his wife yet, and he met up with her 2 days late, does he have to give her the mezainis of those 2 days? A whole sugya. Who cares? Give her the bread and the hummus. No, we have a whole sugya. I'm not chayiv to give you. I'm not married yet. I don't know. They didn't have what to give. So one of the things they used to do is, you see this all the time, they would give their daughters away to men, just you take care, I can't, she's going to die. It's like to give a kid to an orphanage. It's not the right thing to do. But that was the only way for survival. It's like in Chas v'Shalom, Lahavdil Elef Avdolas in Auschwitz, they'd give a kid to a Christian family. Just survive. I don't know what to do now. We're going to die. You take her. I don't know. Fine. What?
There's the opposite. You don't marry kids because you don't have money.
Oh, by the way, what's the opposite?
You don't marry your kids because you don't have money.
Just what?
You don't have money, so you can't afford to marry them.
Oh, today. Yeah, today is right. They don't have money, can't afford. By the way, in Yemen, I remember when, just maybe let's say 100 years ago, they married their kids off at 3 years old because otherwise they would bring them to the Muslim whatever. So they're married, Shalom Yisrael, married. Okay. So you start asking these questions. Okay, don't go too involved over here. We're talking about halacha. Halacha. This girl had the worst situation ever. Her father marries her off when she's 3 years old. 3 years old, in 3 months her husband dies, and now obviously they don't have children. So now she falls liyibum to her brother-in-law. So the brother-in-law is kind of bia because she's royal bia. And anybody that has relations with her is over on Eshish chayiv misa. Umetama is boyal l'tama mishkav tachton ke'alyon. This is gevaldik. There's a whole sugya. By the way, before I do this beautiful sugya, what's her name? Shmili come from North Miami Beach. You saw my father did the whole thing? I went to him every day. Really? All right, send him regards. I'm sure you speak to him more often than I do. It's hard to get a hold of him. I should really call him Taka. Okay. Rabbi said, check this out. We just had this recently. Azava. We're talking about Azava. It's the same thing as Anida. We'll talk about Anida. Anida herself is what we call Avatuma. She's the source of Tuma. In Tuma and Taira, when Azava, Anida, touches something, what does that thing become? One step less. It's always one step less. So Avatuma becomes a Rishon. However, when she sits on something, let's say she sits on a couch, on a mattress, even if she's not touching the mattress, even if it's 10 mattresses below her, she never touched them, they all remain the same exact thing called Avatuma. What do I call? Medrash, Tumas Medrash. Mishka Moshe Medrash. Now, a Nida who's with her husband, the boil, let's say even by mistake, that guy becomes a full-fledged Nida, the Tum of a Nida, what we call an Avatuma, just like her. He becomes Avatuma. Yet, there's a huge difference. Look what happens to him. Yeah, everything above her becomes a Rishon, that's normal. What she touches is a Rishon. This boil guy, he becomes Avatuma, but the mattresses become what we would think should become. They become one step less, a Rishon. That's normal. The fact that Anida sits on something and becomes like her, that's a huge chiddush. What if Anida touches her husband? He becomes a Rishon. He doesn't become an Avatuma, it's just through Bia. So says the Gemara, this 3-year-old, since she's royal Bia, and she's Anida, because a girl could become Anida 1 day old, so her Bayal becomes an Avatuma. Let's say she's 2.5 years old. This is all arguments, okay? Don't go crazy. Don't send me emails now. 2.5 years old. It's just touching a Nida. It's not considered Bia because she's not royal Bia. So touching a Nida, he becomes a Rishon, not a Avatuma. That's all the Gemara is saying over here. Umetam is Boyala, a 3-year-old plus, is Metama, the Boyal, the Tama, Mishkav Tachton Ke'elyon. So all the mattresses become Tommy as a Rishon, Nisis L'Koyen. If this 3-year-old gets married to a Kohen, Truma, she eats Truma because she's fully married through the Bia. If she had relations with a Mamzer, a Goy, Psalam in a Kuhuna, he made her puzzle to the Kuhuna. And anybody that has relations with her, let's say her brother or father, Mumasim al Yada, they die. Viptura, but she's Potter. Why is she Potter? Because she's only 3 years old. Oh, this is what we're looking for. an animal with a girl, a 3-year-old, dies. V'acha, asked the Gemara, here's a great raya, the kalanika, the kalaleka. This is a case of a big busha and no takala. Everybody's going to say, that animal was with that girl, but she doesn't get an avera because she's only 3 years old. So here's the answer to our question, l'chayra. We asked the question, what if there's a busha and no takala? The answer is you kill the animal. You don't need both. You don't need a busha and a takala. Here's a case, a girl had a busha, no avera. Says the Gemara, a tremendous chiddush. Even the mezidahi, since she did it deliberately, takala namiyika, she is over the iser. A 3-year-old, a 5-year-old is over the iser. Rachmanu dechas Allah. The Allah didachas. The Torah had rachmanas on her and only her. Aveim eloichas. In other words, the Torah spared her from the death penalty because she's a ktana. But an avera is an avera. Is an avera. She does not die. So what? She did it on. No, she.
No, it says it's considered.
When so. Here, they say the story about. I only knew it about the Litvish Gedolim, but yesterday I read it about the Chassidish, and they completely ignored the Litvish Gedolim. But they say about the Vilna Gaon that he saw his mother. He saw a mother nursing a baby or something. He saw the baby like hitting the mother lightly. So the Vilna Gaon asked his mother. He says, "What's pshan this chutzpah of the kid?" So the mother said, "You did it also when you were that age." He says, "I did it," and he had tremendous tsar and he did tshuva for it. They say that I think he went to Golos on it. So then I saw yesterday, the Rabbi did the same thing, same story. Every Rebbe, Bob Rebbe did it, the Satmar Rebbe, okay, whatever. Huh? I did it. I said yesterday, Rabbi Vad Yosef did it, and the Tzvi said no. The Rosh Koilel did it. So there's a shaila here. What? So Katan was Mechal Shabbos is Chayv Misa, and just the Torah has Rachmanis on the Katan. So the Rosh Sameach says no. It's only the mitzvahs that the Bnei Noach were Chayv. Reveal with Behema that Ben Noach, and he says it's Svari because it doesn't make sense that when the Torah was given to Klal Yisrael that we stepped down. We only stepped up. So if we had a chiyuv and a guy is chayiv and no das you're chayiv, even shoygig you're chayiv. So Mela, that same thing applies to human beings today as well, but not Shabbos and not other averos, just the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. Says the Gemara. So now we have the same exact sugi again. Let's do it quickly. Ben Teisha Shana V'Yom Echad. Abba Al Yevim Toikanov. Since the Ben Teisha, he's 9 years old. Biyasei Bia. So therefore, all the things again. He could acquire a Yevama when he's 9 years old. Then he can get, but he's not old enough to give a get. Actually, he has to wait until he's 13. And he has the same tumah. Is Bia is considered Bia, so Mamela becomes the same tumah as her. Like in this picture, Mamela becomes Avatuma, but the mattress is a Rishon. Her mattress is a Avatuma. If he's a mamzer, he makes another woman possible through his relations because it's a real relation. He's 9 years old. And he cannot, she does not eat truma because of him. If he's with the animal, it cannot be a carbon. And you get skila because of him. Any relations he has with the Arayas, they die because of him. So you see, the animal says this is a case of busha, excuse me, busha without an avera. Why is it not avera? Because he's only 9 years old, yet you kill the animal. Says the Gemara, since he did it deliberately, so there's a takala, there is an avera. So if there's an avera, it doesn't die. And the Torah Rachmanas on him, the Torah only Rachmanas on him. Toshma. Let's just go to the Mishnah. So we have the Mishnah. The Sefer says. The end of the Sefer says the two reasons, takala and koloi. My lab, and the Sefer takala v'koloi. So we said, if the Sefer says two reasons, so the Reisha can't mimic the Sefer. There's no reason why the Mishnah will repeat itself. So obviously the Reisha is saying a big chiddush. One out of the two kills the animal. Which one is it? So if you look at the first line of our Amud, with the Sefer takala v'koloi, Reisha, look what it says. Rabbi say, first line in our Amud. Reisha takala b'lei kalain. We're talking the simple meaning, like Ari said, the simple meaning. Now we're doing the opposite. My life to say takala kalain. Reisha kalai b'lei takala. Not the simple meaning. And why would I not go with the simple meaning? Because it makes a lot more sense in the Mishnah. Because the only way to have takala without kalain is a guy, and we don't want the Mishnah to be talking about a guy. We want the Mishnah to be talking about a Jew. Reisha kalain b'lei takala. So it's talking about only busha and not an aveira, vechidami, Yisrael, abal behema b'shagin. That makes more sense to fit in the Mishnah. Loi, I can't force it. Seifa the kala b'kalain. Reisha, you're right. The seifa is both, but reisha is one, not the kalain part. Reisha the kala b'lei kalain. It must be that the kala with goy. Vechidami, abikachavim, abal behema, ogdeboy b'meirav sheishes. Rabbi say, have a wonderful day.